scan, and there is no radiation involved as such. It's not taking up the infrared signals emitted from the body. I'll just start with an overview. This is again happened with one of the known persons in Mumbai. 26-year-old female goes to she used to work for a software company, and she goes for a test as such, which was made mandatory, and she came to know she had some nodules in the breast. There were about 3 or 4 nodules were there, knots in the breast, what they called me, and later on she went for the X-ray mammography. The X-ray mammography revealed there was some kind of densities, but they were never clear as such. And she subsequently went for all the torture, I can say, of getting the things with high resolution ultrasound. MRI was done. Later on, there was a biopsy was done for one particular thing. Even the thing was, she was totally horrified. And I can tell you, most of our patients who are coming to us, they are all Google doctors. They start checking out in the Google all this stuff as such. And she was, in fact, she was contemplating double mastectomy for that trivial thing as such, because she gone far ahead, started working on that. She has to be consulted with a psychiatrist who told there was nothing wrong as such, but we feel that if you give that false positive report, people are going into problems as such. So based on this particular thing, now the recent American Cancer Association guidelines, which shows X-ray mammography is not good for before 45 at all. And the thing is, we will just discuss about why these particular things are not useful in below 45. So there is something regarding this age part as such, and this false positives and all that. How we can cut down these false positives? How we can screen out these particular things? What I am trying to put across is there is a thing called thermography, and doctors, this is becoming very, very popular in the other part of the world, and we are still trying to understand this particular thing. And we started with this particular modality where we are trying to assess the physiology of the thing as such. We pick up something which is hot or cold. And the thing which is hot, suppose we have got 4 nodules, we have got 4 fibroadenomas, suppose as such, and we pick up from which one to do a biopsy. And we can always see if there is something which is getting kind of thing, we can always do on that particular. We can't do all the 4 one as such. So this is how the thermography of a normal breast looks, and it is being done with a proper process. It is being said that the breast tissue as such is a very relatively avascular area. It consists of all the, you are aware of all the anatomy as such. And the thing which has been put across is, what you are seeing on the right side, the breast has got some high red. When you compare with this region, you have got some asymmetric density is there, and here the start of neoangiogenesis starts here as well. This neoangiogenesis gives the higher temperature, and it is being picked up on the mammography, thermography. You are all aware of this one as such. I'll just show you one of the videos where this particular thing is used. Yeah. Okay, I'll show that video in the subsequent this one once the time permits. But it gives you the whole. It's hardly 2 minutes video. I'll just show you later. What exactly we are doing with this modality is we are not passing any X-rays. We are not using any PET scan, we are not using any kind of MRI. What we are doing is, your body has got the intrinsic ability to emit the infrared images. You are just picking up with the camera that infrared images. And this particular thing goes back to the determination of the temperature as such. You just see the kind of work which was done. We now used to check with the forehead, array, you have got fever or what. And way back in Hippocrates, he would cover the body with a thin layer of water and blood to look at the area that would dry first to find out which internal organ is affected. That was a kind of thing which was tried before. And this medical thermography, we are using a lot of sensitive infrared cameras and we have got a lot of sophistication where we can differentiate between 0.1 degree centigrade also. There is a difference of 0.1 to 0.05, something like that. We can differentiate that particular thing. It is only possible with the recent technology. This was never available before. And this is FDA approved also. It has been used in most of the clinics in US now. And the cancer has got a special role in when we are talking about early detection of cancer. We all of us are focused on one particular thing, is how early we can detect cancer. I can always tell you doctors, before the inception of the lump, we can pick up the cancer because we can see the neoangiogenesis there. We can always see the vascular pattern. We can always look at the asymmetric densities which were there as such. We can pick up with this particular stuff. And usually it goes, and something regarding comparison with mammography and thermal imaging. As at outset we told you, this is only not an X-ray based program. There is no requirement of any kind of radiation involved, and it's a no-touch modality. And the thing is, we try to work on the procedure is relatively very simple. You don't need to basically, when we work for the X-ray, when we work with X-ray mammography, we need to compress the breast tissue and all that. There is a lot of kind of crush which can happen. There is a lymphatic spread can happen, which doesn't happen with this thermoscan. What I mean to say is that X-ray mammography is a very simple thing. When we are talking about the dealing with the people in the Indian context as such, when we are talking about people below 35 and 40, the Indian population has got the density in the breast, and that particular thing, you see this particular image, the X-ray mammography on the left side, I'm talking about this particular thing, it's very dense is there. So you need to work it out. You have to apply something like MRI. These two images are from the same thing. X-ray mammography, it misses. Doctor, when I'm talking here, I used to be a radiologist in senior hospitals before. I'm talking about way back in very long back. And we used to compare the X-ray mammography with the ultrasound. Otherwise, we could not have, we could have missed things as such. Now, we would like to compare the X-ray mammography with the MRIs, and with the latest modality, things have become very easier actually. This is how it appears. I think it's not very clearly visible. I can always show you like this. This will be easier as such. The color pattern is not very clear as such here, but I can always tell you is this is how the neovascularity occurs, and the tumor and all that can be picked up like this. We have here we have got a typical pattern of a woman. There are differences. We have got for premenopausal lady, postmenopausal, we have got a lot of differences as such, and we tend to look into this is not a one-time imaging. We take a baseline study and we start working on the further images also. We try to compare the temperatures. You see the kind of temperature, right upper quadrant is 27.5, whereas left upper quadrant is 28.7. And this is definitely a asymmetric left breast, which is causing a high temperature. There's a hypothermia there. Hypothermia is probably because of some neoangiogenesis unless we rule out some inflammatory disorder. We try to work on screening, we try to look at the inflammation, rule out inflammation, then work it with the high resolution ultrasound, or we go ahead with the MRI. This is the procedure which is performed, which is probably done in the AC room as such, and patient is made to sit under the AC or the fan for at least for 10 minutes or 7 minutes, and relatively cooling happens as such, and later you start picking up on the thermogram, and there are some protocols which are applied. These reportings are done from scale 1 to scale 5. Anyone can do that. It is not necessary that a radiologist has to do that. It is not like an ultrasound which you have to learn ultrasound. This can be done by any medical professional. You can just check it out what is the stages. It comes into TH1 to TH5, and you can always, based on that, you can give a report about that. I'll give you some simple examples. This is one of the cases where on the, I'm not very sure we are in, this is the right breast, this is the left breast. Left breast, what you are seeing here on the upper and outer quadrant is a redness is there. So this particular thing was done, this patient was having some problem, she used to having some pain and all that. The moment we asked them to change the kind of fitting where we remove the fitting where, that is one thing which helped her a lot. Along with that, she put some iodine and massages, lymphatic massages, and she became absolutely normal. This is one thing we are having a problem now. We do something like hyperbaric oxygen, and we are trying to work on some cancer things a lot as such. And I was treating a 45-year-old female, a lady, and she was having a breast cancer with secondaries and all that. And it was a very florid case. It was a very stage 4. And there are 2 daughters. These daughters, one is studying engineering, another one is also studying engineering. She was in intermediate or something like that. They asked me whether we can go for BRCA test to know that we can we get it or not. Doctors, I don't think we require all that stuff as such. You get into a big kind of thing. You can always go for something like a thermostat, and if the breasts are unhealthy, you can definitely follow up, do some detox, do some oxidation part of things and all that. I'll be subsequent slides and show you what is causing breast cancer. And this particularly, to our surprise, the 19-year-old daughter had an unhealthy breast. She was taken out from chocolate. She was having a kind of all the latest generation people. They were having all this stuff. We were taken out, and she started getting better. There were no lumps and bumps in that case as such, but once you pick up that unhealthy breast, it's a nidus for anything as such. So you need to see that you should correct that particular thing. This patient was sorry for the slides, it's not being properly shown here. This woman is a 25-year-old patient whose mother and aunt died with breast cancer. She was really worried whether she is going to get it or not. Blue color is a normal one, ma'am. It's a very there's hypodense actually. There is no lesions out there. The lower the blue means low temperature. The lower the temperature is good. The higher temperature is a problem here as such. For the vascular markings which are there on the left side, which is a cause for worry. What we have advised this lady is, she's coming every 6 months or 1 year. She's on a detox program. She's on some kind of she's on a diet properly, and I'll show you what exactly I'm trying to work it out. This is again this particular lady had 3 X-ray mammographies which were normal, and ultrasounds also were done. I think at the outset I was telling you these people, I was a radiologist at CDR hospital. We used to do reporting with X-ray mammographies. My senior was BSP Ramohan, and it was so difficult for us to diagnose anything. That time ultrasound came, it was a very, I can always tell it's a first generation ultrasound that time. I'm talking about way back in 94, 95. 94, I graduated from Usmania and did my radiology. So we were clueless. We used to think, while giving a X-ray mammography report, we used to think this is absolutely normal, and it used to turn out to be on the other side. Even Ram Mohan and Senior Hospital had some suits were also put across. There were some litigations happened that time. So finally we became smart the moment we started working on that. We never used to write down looking at the X-ray mammography report. We used to check whether the ultrasound screening was done or not. It used to be done by our staff people also. And the moment that images once we see that, we used to report that. This particular patient, X-ray mammography is normal, ultrasound was normal. She says she has got some kind of filling of lump and all that. And later it was shown that on thermoscan you were able to pick up the kind of densities here. I'm really sorry for that, but this red color, if you are able to appreciate this particular thing, upper and outer quadrant, upper quadrant and inner quadrant of the left breast, it showed 8 millimeter mass, which proved to be invasive cancer and removal. This is how it came out. There was some study which was done by some people. The first studies was documented in 1980s. That time again the computer and this one was not very good. The resolution of images, pixels also was not good. Now we have got an amazing kind of resolution. We don't require that kind of, now hardly false positives we can always count. We don't have that kind of false positives. So this study, thermogram stage 4 had 90% chances of getting cancer was the thing which was inferred. Again, we have some people differed on this particular thing. We tell to do a kind of, not based on one study we give a report. We try to do a thermoscan. Along with that, we do on the same site we do ultrasound also. And once we see the asymmetrical masses and all that, go for a FNAC on ultrasound guided, and you can always do that. There were 60 of 94 biopsies were malignant and 34 were benign in this particular series, and thermal imaging was identified 58 of 60 malignancies. The sensitivity was too good. Usually while doing ultrasound we miss out something like DCIS, we miss out, we miss out lobular some things as we miss out on that particular. So this is how we feel that this should be a kind of a small screening procedure wherein usually the people, the risk people, what we are really not able to understand, 30s and 40s people, less than that, they are getting the cancers now. And I'd like to go a step further regarding this particular thing, and we will try to discuss what is the, as I was discussing with Dr. Garu, what must be the etiology, why there is certain further increase in cancers, and I'm sure you people should be very inclined to understand that. I work in a field called clinical medical toxicology. Subsequent to my radiology, I did some work in clinical medical toxicology. For some personal reasons, my son was given a diagnosis of autism, and I was a radiologist at Apollo. I didn't know what to do with that autism asset. And I said there must be some problem with the hearing and all that. So, but whatever is it, God was kind on me. I did a lot of R&D. I had to go to other part of the world also, and I picked up a lot of stuff. And we now treat autism like anything. It's so easier for us. We try to work with mercury and blah blah some things and all that. I was discussing with the doctors initially when I came here. I say the moment even I am in a kind of forums, I keep going to forums. I am talking in all the software professionals. All these software professionals has got a lot of problems. They have a psychiatric problem. They have what is the carpal tunnel syndrome. They have fibromyalgia. all these people, why the hell these people only are getting that? And we are all people with the educated background, they are getting that. There are a lot of things I can always discuss at a later date, but I can always tell you the number 1, 2, 3, 4 things. I don't want to stand here besides this batteries. This batteries, they keep outgassing something like lead. Take this message home, man. Don't keep these batteries in your, at least in your whole room as such. Try to see that this battery should be shifted out. The way the exhaust of the AC is put outside, outdoor, the same thing this has to be done. And it should be done at the bar footing level. I was talking to the software people. I said I have demonstrated high levels of lead in them. They get into a problems, depression, so many things. I just work it out why this particular cancer, estrogen-like activity of metals. I mean to say metal is cadmium. Cadmium is one thing which has been worked out. Likely cadmium is linked to breast cancer risk. This is the paper which was presented way back in 2015. Yeah. And aluminium, antiperspirants and breast cancer. The people who are using antiperspirants want to stop that sweat from coming. That thing contains all this odors and all deos and all that. That contains aluminium, that contains parabens, and you'll be surprised with this next slide. We went on to do a heavy metal analysis in 20 biopsies. I'm in this field for more than now 10 years. I started off a small kind of thing. This was motivated by a paper which was presented in Germany. They showed high levels of transitional metals. Transitional metals means lead, mercury, cadmium and all that. I'll just give you an idea of what we are talking about. Calcium, magnesium, zinc. These are the good minerals. What happens with the toxicity? Instead of calcium, this lead enters the body. The cadmium gets into the thing as such. Well, lead and cadmium and mercury, they have +2 valency. So wherever the calcium and magnesium has to be gone, this thing comes there. And it goes for a virtual toss. Your mitochondria is the most gets affected. Mitochondria has got some electron transport chain which is guided by all this catalysts. Magnesium is the most important. More than 300 enzymatic reactions in the body are governed by magnesium. And if by chance instead of lead comes as well as cadmium comes, all this goes for a halt. The cause of chronic fatigue syndrome, the cause of fibromyalgia, the cause of rheumatoid arthritis and all that, it is only mitochondrial cytopathy because of this heavy metals. This paper showed us the way. They did a biopsies and they found out high levels of aluminium, cadmium, uranium, nickel, manganese and lead in the breast sample tissue. This is the incriminating cause for the cancer. And increased cadmium levels were found in cancer biopsies. 18 out of 20 biopsies, what we tried to replicate that particular thing. We had picked up around 20 patients with cancer and we picked up 15 patients without cancer also. All were residing in and around Hyderabad. I can tell you the areas where the toxin is very rampant now. People residing in Uppal, I can say the heart of the city also has the same problems now. Your water has got more levels of arsenic now. So there is no need to get a lot of sweets and getting diabetic. Even just by drinking water you can get diabetic. I can always talk on that in a different this one. Lead was and there were other studies which showed high levels of nickel there was found in the prostate. Nickel, iron levels in prostate, which is causing prostate cancer. So the whole thing now is becoming quite clear. We used to think that what is happening, why this things and all that. Now we could relate why this pollution is causing that. New Delhi air pollution, you are reading in the newspapers now. Air pollution causing cancer. It is because in air pollution, the kind of hexavalent chromium is very high. Whenever you have exuberant chromium in your body, it causes lung cancer, nasopharyngeal cancer, oral cancers. It is not just your gutka or tobacco. We as doctors, we used to tell, "Arey, you drink, you smoke." None of them. Most of the patients are not into any kind of thing. How can, we never used to think as such. We used to think smoking is lung cancer. Now we have so many cancers, which is probably because of exuberant chromium. There is a belt actually. In Nalgonda, the exuberant chromium is being thrown into the water like that, a place like Damacharudu. And it's a like, it's no, I'm not trying to state you, but if we tend to take that water, we have checked the water in Hyderabad. High levels of arsenic, we found uranium to be 19 times more. 19 times, 19. In Hyderabad. Hyderabad, I mean to say, we just put a random kind of stuff. We didn't have that kind of funds, ma'am. We just did a small study of 20 patients and 15 non-people assets. So what I mean to say is, cancers have directly or indirectly having a process with the heavy metals impaction, causing huge oxidative distress and causing this particular stuff. And this is our data, which is metal burden in cancer. I had presented in omics group also. We have shared this data with the omics group. All the people in US, they said, now they have woken up. They say Indian rice bad. They are talking Indian, they're scared to touch man. Sona Masuri rice, what we are consuming here, has got high levels of cadmium and lead. So we need to limit our thing. I try to limit my rice intake. And there is a thing called Chayanprash, and there are some Ayurvedic products and all that. It brought us a lot of disrepute. Somewhere, everyone was talking bad about our Ayurvedic medicines. Even the Sindoor, the Sindoor, not what we are wearing, the kind of thing as such, it has high levels of lead in that. See, every kind of industry wants to make more money and all that. So, these are the few things, doctor, and we did compare the high cancer patients and healthy patients. This was the study. And why I can always take up questions as of now, because we may miss out the thing as such. If you have any doubts, please keep me asking. Otherwise, I will keep going on. I will show you what exactly is the